Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very pleasure to be here today. A topic that is becoming increasingly important for all of us. The changing world order, trade, and the growing importance of cooperation between a country like Finland and the Indo-Pacific region. The world is changing faster at any time in recent decades. Traditional foreign policy categories no longer describe the reality we live in. Security policy, trade policy, and development policy used to operate in separate boxes. Today, they are deeply interconnected. Supply chains are strategic, energy systems are strategic, data sovereignty are becoming a core element of national sovereignty. And in this environment, ladies and gentlemen, countries are forced to rethink how they cooperate, how they innovate, and how they build resilience. And what we're witnessing is not just another geopolitical shift. We are going through a system-level transformation of the global economy and international cooperation. The institutions, rules, and structures that shaped globalization over the past decades are being tested by technological change, climate pressures, geopolitical competition, and shifting economic power. Adapting to this moment requires more than incremental policy adjustments. It requires system-level thinking and new forms of cooperation. And for decades, the world was often described through geopolitical blocks: the West, the East, and the global South. But perhaps the real question today is different. The question is not only where countries belong geographically, the real question is who are the partners capable of building solutions together. Countries that combine openness, technological capability, strong institutions are the ones, and they have the ability to cooperate. And in this new landscape, trusted partnerships become one of the most valuable assets. And that is why cooperation and co-development between India, Finland, the European Union, and the wider Indo-Pacific region matters more than ever. The Indo-Pacific has become one of the central engines of the global economy. It's also one of the regions shaping the future of trade, technology, and security. For Europe and for Finland, engagement with the Indo-Pacific is therefore not optional, it is essential. And if we look at the foundations of modern societies, three systems stand out. The first one is data, the second one is energy, and the third one is food. And of course, this is not a complete list. We could add critical minerals, health systems, and secure supply chains. They're also part of the picture. But these pillars illustrate the systems on which modern societies ultimately depend. And I want to emphasize the importance of data and data sovereignty, because data infrastructure is becoming the backbone of modern economies, including AI, including digital services, but also including the health systems, smart cities, all depend on secure and reliable data systems. But, ladies and gentlemen, the real question is not about innovation. It's all about the trust, but trust in a very concrete sense. Trust that data is protected, trust that systems are secure, trust that rules apply equally to all. So the question becomes, who creates that trust? Because it's not created by declarations only. It's created by us, by governments, by parliaments that uphold the rule of law, institutions that make sure the transparency happens, and companies that are acting responsibly across the borders. In the end, trust emerges where partners keep their commitments even when circumstances become difficult. Finland and the other Nordic countries, Sweden, dear former Prime Minister, I think we have developed strong traditions in digital governance, transparency, and trusted institutions. India, on the other hand, has built one of the most remarkable digital public infrastructure of the world. And India shows how digital systems can be designed at scale for hundreds of millions of citizens. And imagine what could be achieved if Europe's trusted regulatory frameworks and India's digital innovations and scale and scope were brought together more systematically across the Indo-Pacific. And secondly, the energy, which is, of course, inseparable from national security. The cleaner energy, it's not only an environmental necessity, it's also one of the largest industrial transportations of our time. And countries that manage this transition successfully will define the industrial landscape of the coming decades. In my country, in Finland, we have built up clean energy technologies, nuclear safety, smart electricity systems, and energy efficiency. And of course, India, with its scale, ambitious, and technological capabilities, will be one of the countries shaping the global energy transition. Cooperation, co-development, scaling together in such areas is a huge opportunity. Hydrogen, nuclear safety could create both economic growth and climate solutions. Because, Your Excellencies, climate change remains the largest challenge of our planet and our generation. And thirdly and lastly, the food and food security, which is becoming one of the defining questions of our time. Climate change, together with water and geopolitical tensions, as we all know, are affecting global food systems. Finland has deep expertise in sustainable forestry, food technologies, and agriculture in demanding climates. And once again, India has to scale the diversity and innovation capacity to transform global food system. Together, we can really strengthen the resilience in global food production across Europe, India, and Indo-Pacific. Then a few words about the multilateralism, because international relations have often been driven by multilateralism, but also by competition. Competition between states, competition between companies, competition between technological systems. And yes, competition will always exist. But in this interconnected world, cooperation between trusted partners is becoming as important. Instead of focusing only on how to outcompete, we should also ask how we can out-cooperate. Not cooperation based on dependency, but cooperation based on shared capabilities and mutual benefit. And this means, what I want to underline, the joint innovations, co-development of trusted technologies and supply chains, and shared investments in critical infrastructure. This is also why the result of EU-India trade agreement is so important. European Union India agreement would not only increase the trade, it would open the door to deeper technological cooperation, investment partnerships, and industrial collaboration between Europe and the Indo-Pacific. And trade agreements today, they are not only about tariffs, they are about building long-term strategic economic partnerships. And Finland sees India not only as a market, we see India as a platform to co-develop and to partner, developing technologies together, scaling solutions together, building industries together. Because India has the keys, the tools, and the unique position in the world. Few countries can combine this, few countries can implement. Ladies and gentlemen, many years ago, I read a book called Planet India. And I think the title pretty much captured something important. India is not only a country, in many ways it's a world in itself. I've had also privilege to experience India personally long time before entering politics, from Himachal Pradesh to Chennai to Trivandrum, in business, in tourism. These experiences left me a deep impression of me and India. They showed me the extraordinary diversity, creativity, and energy that exists across India. And today, I think it's clear that many of the solutions of the world's biggest challenges will involve India and can be solved with India. India will not only participate in solving these challenges, I think India will help and lead those solutions if we make this right. And therefore, the real question, is not whether cooperation should happen. The real question is how we take this cooperation to the next level. We need the platforms, we have the platforms, we have all the elements in place between companies, universities, and governments. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for the collaboration, and I look forward to see you again and again in Europe, Nordic countries, and Finland. Thank you so much.